Senator Cotton.
I have several amendments that are at the desk. I ask unanimous consent that we dispense with the reading of number 12 as modified.
Without objection, go ahead.
Thank you.
You're recognized.
So first, I would say that I think it was a mistake to ever go down this path. Iran is a radical Islamist theocracy whose constitution calls for jihad. And its leaders have honored that constitution for 35 years, killing Americans in 1983, killing Americans in 1996, having a nasty habit with their proxies of killing Jews all around the world, in Argentina and Bulgaria and in Israel, and most recently, controlling or exerting dominant influence over 5 different capitals in the Middle East: Tehran, Baghdad, Damascus, Beirut, and now Sana'a. I would rather see this negotiations end because I think the administration is committed to a deal at all costs, or committed to dragging out negotiations and letting Iran achieve in slow motion what they otherwise could not achieve through a deal. Therefore, I have proposed Amendment 11 that would call for immediate sanctions upon enactment, but given the realities that that likely would not pass this committee nor pass the floor, I'm calling for a vote on number 12 as modified. This amendment would take the staged sanctions starting on July 6th and starting 1 per month from July 2015 through December 2015 and make them all effective on July 6th. If it's the judgment of this committee and of this Congress that we need to provide the administration yet another 5 months before putting conditional prospective sanctions in place, then surely we can say on July 6th, after 20 months of negotiations, which Secretary Kerry originally proposed would only last for 3 to 6 months, that all sanctions should go into place on July 6th. They don't need another 6 months of staged sanctions.
Senator Cotton.
I would simply say that Iran's leaders have apparently made it clear, if you are to believe them, which I frankly don't, that they believe any new sanctions would violate the JPOA and lead to an end of the deal or end of negotiations. Now, to me, that is illogical. If they want a deal, they can reach a deal at any point. If they want a deal after July 6, when all the sanctions take effect, then they can do exactly what South Africa did in 1989. They can do exactly what Libya did in 2003, the unconditional and complete nuclear disarmament of their nuclear program. But if any sanction is going to make them walk away or threaten or put pressure on our P5 allies, then we should put all sanctions on immediately on July 6 to put the most pressure on Iran. I move unanimous consent that we dispense with the reading of amendment number 10.
Ordered.
So I have offered 2 amendments related to the waiver authority of Section 208. I will not offer Amendment number 9, which would entirely eliminate the President's ability to waive sanctions under this legislation. I am, however, offering Amendment number 10, which would limit the President to 1 30-day waiver period. As written, Section 208 currently allows the President to indefinitely waive the sanctions of this legislation for 30-day periods, certifying little more than that it's in the national security interest of the United States or that Iran is not cheating on a deal. I would say that the President has overlooked or turned a blind eye to Iran's actions over the last 14 months, and if he's so hell-bent on getting a deal, that he will continue to waive the sanctions in this legislation. I think we as a Congress should only give him the power to seek another 30 days. At that point, it will have been 21 months. Surely 21 months is enough time to reach a deal that Secretary Kerry predicted would take only 3 to 6 months. Implications of what the ranking member has said. This waiver authority only applies if sanctions are in effect as of July 6th. And he said moments ago, quote, ongoing negotiations. There should be no negotiations on July 6th. There should either be a final deal that results in the disarmament of Iran, or the sanctions should be kicking in. The implication of that statement is that the ranking member, and I suspect many people in this institution, expect continued extensions of the JPOA. He said in his opening statement that we will not have a vote on the floor until at least, quote, at least March 24th. And I suspect that there is a high likelihood we will not be voting on March 25th because the President will act for just a little bit more time. He said in his opening statement, the end of June, end quote. That suggests to me when we plan to vote, and the fact that he's talking about ongoing negotiations after June 30th implies that members foresee a continued extension of the JPOA, and I don't know what would be worse, to allow Iran to achieve nuclear capabilities in a moment's stroke at a bad deal, or to simply allow them to achieve it in slow motion for the next 23 months of this administration.